Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. I'm here this early Monday morning, September 11th, 2017, with Dr. Claudia Albers. Doctor, how are you this morning?
I'm very well. Thank you, Scott. And how are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of breaking news happening in the Planet X world. And before I start getting into this material, I just want to say once again, my deepest sympathies to everyone who lost their lives in New York City on September 11th. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this date has come around where thousands of people lost their lives on September 11th. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to divulge to all of you another huge discovery early this morning, and also the fact that we had one of the most powerful solar X flares that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm sure for a lot of solar scientists, physicists, astrophysicists, they could probably say the same thing. This was a massive, massive kill shot, Earth-ending kill shot. If we would have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, we would not be having this live stream right now. But we are going to see some of the effects of this massive X flare. I have documented all of it, and pretty incredible footage that I have. And during this massive CME and X flare, another Planet X discovery was revealed. Now, Doctor, do you want to go over some of the information that you analyzed on this CME?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was astounding. I just couldn't, I never seen anything like it. It was so overwhelmingly large. And what I could see is cosmic radiation, protons coming in towards Earth at very high speeds, very high energy. They will, of course, go right through the magnetosphere. They will impact the atmosphere, go right down to the surface. So right now we should still get impacts of this cosmic radiation. It just continues. We just get lower energy particles coming in after a while, but the most energetic would have been within 8 minutes of the solar flare. It just, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a solar flare that strong, that powerful. And it was such, it was a good thing it wasn't Earth facing. And the CME that results moves at high speed. And if it comes at extremely high speed, the magnetosphere cannot stop it. So it comes right into the Earth. This kind of thing, that's why they call it a kill shot, because it would just destroy life on the surface of the planet. The radiation is too high. Even if you are able to survive the resulting cosmic radiation, the radiation is just too high. It leads to organ failure and cancer and things like that. But that would be the slow death. But a huge CME, very fast moving, would actually strip the atmosphere off the planet. And that goes our protection, and we would get enveloped in solar wind. And that would just fry the surface of the planet. And that would be the end. So that's the type of thing that we are facing if something like that is Earth facing. So
yes, that would have been a
It's very, very dangerous.
Yeah, that would have been a bad day on Earth.
I didn't even know that the sun was capable of things like that. As you know, the sun is supposed to be moving towards solar minimum. And we keep getting people saying that this is normal. This is absolutely not normal. And what was detected on Earth was an X8 flare. But if the flare had been Earth facing, we would have detected it as a much stronger solar flare, perhaps X20. Or more. And we've never seen solar flares of this magnitude. And it's obvious that the sun is getting more and more active and more unstable. And for a while, it looked like it was getting weaker. And now it's still weak, but it's being provoked into this kind of phenomena because of the objects that are there seem to be getting larger. So it seems that the smaller objects came in first, and now we're getting the larger objects arriving at the sun's corona. And they are provoking these kinds of explosions that are extremely dangerous for life on Earth.
Yes, it definitely was a spectacular event to see. However, very, very dangerous. Listen, we have Jeff P. is in the live chat. Jeff, I'm going to email your Gmail account right now, and I'm going to send you the link to jump in here with us so you can see this discovery. Just give me 1 second. I'm emailing Jeff right now. And Jeffrey, it is in your email, buddy. Go ahead and pick that up and jump into the live stream with us. And I also want to make a note. One of our fantastic followers, and also another Planet X researcher, Annoyed Aussie. He's in the live chat with us right now. This man has stepped up to the plate himself, and he's doing his part in researching what is out there, and he's doing a great job. He also just donated $200 to our cause, and I want to thank him very, very much for that donation. Jeffrey, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Hi, Jeff.
Not doing too bad.
Let me
you might need to turn your volume
thing here.
Computer a little bit because we're getting the feedback.
There you go.
But yes, I just wanted to thank Annoyed Aussie, fantastic guy. He's down there in Australia. Love you, man. Thank you very, very much. And ladies and gentlemen, what happened on the sun was just an absolutely phenomenal and spectacular thing to see, you know, for astronomers and solar scientists, but it was absolutely deadly. But let me say this. If it wasn't for this massive CME and this X flare, I would not have the photographs today that I'm going to show you, once again, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that our sun is in a battle with Planet X as we speak. And the cover-up, well, as the doctor has said, this is the biggest cover-up in world history. And you're about to see more of the evidence. Jeffrey, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, man. This whole week has been pretty grievous. Just everything happening in the world is pretty overwhelming. So I had posted a video about the plasma wings being seen, and I'm getting like hundreds of trolls, like negative comments. So I couldn't take it, man. So I disabled comments for the first time.
Well, I mean, that's the best thing to do. I mean, you have control over it. And the issues are that whenever you come up with big discoveries and you get that type of attention, it only means one thing. And that is you're onto solid evidence, and they can't stand it. And they're out there trying to do their job to prevent people from believing you. But the evidence that we're going to show today is, once again, absolutely unbelievable. Now, at 3 a.m. this morning, I was on a live broadcast on another Facebook channel, Facebook page, and absolutely fantastic people. And I divulged a lot of this new information and this new discovery right there live on their show. And I was a guest there, as I was the other day. But we're going to go ahead and get right into this because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you real quick, because what I've done is I've put all of this information that I found today, and I put it all into a video. And the video has not been uploaded to YouTube yet. You're the first to see all of this. And the headline on the thumbnail will be, "Another massive X-flare reveals Planet X and much more." And this X-flare could have ended Earth. Now, I know a lot of you watch Suspicious Observer, and Ben clearly was startled by what he saw. And then he made another video later on this morning, clearly showing that some of the NASA models are just way off. Maybe they haven't updated them yet. Maybe they won't update them. But the fact of the matter is that individuals that are out there doing hardcore research and investigating Planet X, these are the ones that are coming up with the undeniable information. And once again, what you're about to see basically was all captured pretty close to real time as the information was coming in. So I'm just going to go ahead and click play, and this will just go through this short introduction here, and then I'll pause it and I'll stop it so we can examine some things. What I'm going to be going through first is this massive X-flare.
Yeah, and
I caught some incredible still shots and videos.
Scott, you could see already from that first photograph that it's much brighter than the X10 that we had the other day. Mm-hmm. So this is a stronger solar flare than the X10 we had the other day.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna just stop this. Oh, let me back up a little bit here because I missed it. Oh, missed it again. I hate this one slider. Just give me a second. Oh, I missed it again.
So where was this captured on? The SDO?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the last 48 hours?
Yeah.
Well, the actual X-flare was in the last, maybe 12 to 18 hours, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Huh.
There it is.
Wow, look at that.
Take a look at that beam coming down out of that X-flare.
Yeah, it almost looks like the sun connected with something below it. It's just amazing.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why they call these X-flares is because whenever this energy is released from the sun, it literally forms this perfect X pattern, almost like a diamond glittering in the sunlight. But I just wanted to show that to you. Now, I have some more photographs, so just pay very close attention to what's going to be scrolling through. This is a lot of high definition, high close-up imagery of this X-flare, and you can see it was already starting. And ladies and gentlemen, this just wasn't a 1, 2, 3 event, okay? This energy lasted for more than 12 hours coming from the sun.
Yeah, and you can see on the left-hand side the plasma coming off the sun. That looks like it's connecting to an object there. You know, they have these particle flux transfers between the sun. Yes. And that's usually what we see as they draw plasma from the sun. So it's possibly another object there. You see that on the left-hand side.
Okay, I'm going to back this up for a second. Okay, folks. Now, what I want you to pay attention, I want you to pay very, very close attention to all of this region Pay very close attention. And here, you are going to see how powerful this X flare was, because you are going to see a shock wave move all the way across the coronal surface. Mm-hmm. Watch carefully. Watch carefully. There it was.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, again. That's amazing. That's just, wow.
Huh.
That literally covered, I would have to say, 70% of the sun's surface.
What would that have to do with the timing of the 8.0 that hit Mexico?
Well, the other X flare that occurred, I set the timing and I found that the X flare did influence, because they both happened almost at the same time. First the X flare, then the massive earthquake in Mexico.
Yeah.
Now this is a close-up high definition of the X flare. This is the actual X flare on the 131 angstrom SDO footage. Wow. And you can see what it does to the camera.
That's amazing.
There's the spike, and that was the spike from the CME on September 9th.
What wavelength is this energy we're looking? Oh, this is in the X-ray bandwidth, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's not going to be.
Folks, what you're looking at right here, these are high definition photographs that I grabbed this morning of the sunspot that produced these X flares back a few days ago, and just about, what was it, Doctor? What, about 12, 18 hours ago, 16 hours ago?
What, the solar flare?
The big one.
Oh, the big one. I think it was...
It's 1,600 hours on the 10th.
Yes, something like that, between 3 and 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think that's, what, 1,600 hours?
Time. So for us, if it was 3 o'clock, it would have been 4 hours later for us. So it would have been 8 o'clock last night, say.
UTC time or Eastern time?
No, EDT time.
Okay.
It would have been about 8 o'clock, something like that. I haven't actually looked at the exact time of the solar flare, but it looked to me like...
It was 1,600 hours.
Oh, 1,600, then it would have been 8 o'clock on the East Coast.
Now, this is another high-definition photograph that I snagged this morning. This is the sunspot that is producing these massive X flares. Now, this sunspot is turning away from the Earth. Thank God. Mm-hmm. Because if that X flare would have came directly at Earth, we would not be having this conversation right now. That much I can guarantee you. It would have fried everybody on this planet. It would have just destroyed our atmosphere. We'd all be toast. So I just wanted to go ahead and show that that high definition photograph. We'll get more into this video as it scrolls through.
Yeah, I mean, these things, usually what they do, first of all, is short out all the power grid. So that would be the first thing to go all over the world. So that would be the end, basically, of our civilization, because it just takes too long to rebuild everything. So just that can kill just about everybody on the surface, because we depend on power.
Now, folks, I'm sorry, folks, what you're seeing right now, you're seeing the coronagraph. This is the C2 coronagraph. This is from Cactus. And this is showing you the blast. This is the blast that was at about 1,600 hours. It says 1,700 here, but this is well into the explosion. Now, you can clearly see that the intensity of this blast was massive. Even though it was not Earth-facing, every edge of the solar system, I'll repeat myself, every edge of the solar system will feel this blast. The energy will make its way all the way to the outer limits of our solar system. All of the particles that you are seeing all over the screen, the little black, white, and gray dots. Doctor, do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, that's cosmic radiation. Basically, it's protons coming at the camera, and the camera is the LASCO, and so it's right in front of the Earth. So this radiation is coming straight at Earth. And I think I did get the time wrong. It must have happened at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But it's unbelievable. I've never seen this kind of cosmic radiation coming straight at Earth. It's unbelievable. I don't even know. I didn't even know it was possible. But this kind of cosmic radiation will be overwhelming, and it will especially put a high altitude spacecraft in danger, and the people on the ISS will get impacted by large amounts of radiation. And then as you go down towards the surface, you will get less, but you will still get large amounts of radiation, and it's very damaging to living tissues. So it's very bad.
I wouldn't want to be up in the space station right now.
Yeah, definitely not. It's not a good place to be. I don't know what kind of shielding they have, but this is...
I don't care what kind of shielding they have. I wouldn't want to be up there now. Ladies and gentlemen, the video that I've put together here right now is going to show you what happened with the X-flare. And I'm going to go ahead and just back this up for just a second, and we're going to let this play. You're going to see it in real time there, basically. And you're going to see the Earth scale. That is the size of Earth.
Yeah. That's just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen an X-class flare of this magnitude. The brightness, the size of it. I would say it's twice as strong as the X10 we had the other day.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that. And it's sustained for quite a while at that.
Look at that. Look at that. That is incredible. Wow.
It's just unbelievable that the sun is capable of this. But obviously it's being provoked, as you will show later on.
Now just watch these coronagraphs very carefully.
It's unbelievable. It's amazing. Wow.
Now, these were the ones back on September 6th. This was the X9 solar flare.
Oh, yes.
Now you're going to see what happened yesterday. Look at that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Now, after this solar flare information's over, folks, I'm going to show you what I discovered as I was analyzing all of this footage, and it's going to blow your freaking mind once again.
Yeah, and it resulted in a full halo CME, which means an extremely strong CME. And of course, even though it wasn't Earth-facing, I'm sure the Earth will be impacted, at least slightly, by it. So we should get geomagnetic storms again.
Now, I'm going to back this up just a little bit. I want you to watch very, very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Pay very close attention. Now, listen, any of you that are watching this live stream on a computer screen, on your YouTube video player, in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little white gear. Click on it and move your resolution all the way up to 720, 480, 1080. Get your resolutions up higher, because YouTube always has them set lower. So get your resolutions up, click on it, set it, and let's go. I want you to watch this video portion. I slowed this down, I backed it up. Just watch. I'm backing it up. What do you see there, folks?
Yeah.
What did you see there? Huh? You missed it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wait, pause it right there.
Oh,
My
what is that?
Yeah.
Well, that looks like, what do you think it is?
Guess what?
A dragon?
Ladies and gentlemen, nothing sneaks past me. I'm a hardcore Planet X researcher and investigator, and nothing sneaks by me. And I have all of the photographs documenting what happened, and you're going to see them very, very shortly. We'll go ahead and let this play.
Wow.
You know,
This was the X-flare.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, buddy. You better hold on to your seat. Buckle up, baby.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, it's getting to the point where if something like this happens on the sun, we can be sure that there's an object there that the sun is connecting with.
Listen, here are the photographs.
That's right.
There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. What you're about to see is going to blow your freaking mind.
Yes.
Here, I'll stop it right there. Jeffrey,
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
That, that's awesome, man. I think
You see the stripes
Yes.
on this damn thing.
It even has the stripes, yes.
You know what's funny? That was the 10th. I captured on a web camera where the sun was rising, and it went from a small little sunset. As it was setting, the sun literally took up the entire sky, and then it suddenly shrank down a tiny little sun as it set with no clouds. How would you explain that? But this is on the same time.
Oh, my.
So I knew that there had to have been something close to the sun at that same timing.
Yes.
I've been watching sunsets on cameras on a cloudless day for a long time, and for the sun to take up the whole sky at this time, the whole sky, I mean, from the horizon, like halfway up the sky.
Yeah.
Well, the pictures just get better.
That's
Yeah, you see, the larger of that object is at least the same size as the sun.
we could like use your
put
cursor, kind of show to the audience where these stripes are. I mean, I could see them. We know this striped object many times, right? We both got this.
Yeah, a lot of the larger ones are striped because they have their ionizing envelope attached to them as stripes because it follows the symmetry of the magnetic field.
Yeah, those are what they call them, magnetic field lines or whatever, where the compression zones between the flux lines or whatever you want to call it.
And the smaller ones,
you can clearly see.
Yes.
You can clearly see this object right here. The reason why I zoomed in here is to take a look at the other smaller object that is right here.
That's right.
It looks like there is another surface or another object here. What I deemed this smaller area to be is just the light reflection on another spherical object right here.
Yeah, but it could be that it's three of them attached to each other because I've noticed that they attach to each other. And the way this object is facing us, we would have the top and the north and the south pole are, for this object, is oriented horizontally, whilst the sun is oriented vertically. So,
Awesome point.
You see, so they attach them to each other on the sides where you would have the toroidal, the fat toroidal shape. So this is exactly how they attach to each other. They don't attach each other usually north to south, so they don't cover the hole where you would have the hole in the toroid shape or in the donut shape. They attach to the side where it's fat, where the donut is fat. So this is exactly where another one would attach to this one. So we could actually have three in a row, a large one and then the small one and then a tiny little one attached to that. It's like Lego, they attach like Lego blocks. It's amazing.
So Jeff, what do you think about this photo?
That's more than compelling enough for me. Like she's right about the vertical lines contrasting with exactly 90 degrees out of phase with the sun's ejection, you know, and you can pretty much see the complete closed circle there, as if that would have been, you know, pure electricity. It just doesn't look like that.
Yeah. So it's wow, yeah.
That's pretty stunning, Scott. Hey guys, I had a little emergency pop up. I'm gonna have to take off in like a few minutes.
Yeah, not a problem, buddy. You know, give me a call or, you know, email me or something like that when you get some free time and jump back on here with us.
Well, while I got there, I just want to share something. Some of you may know and some may not know, but some amazing coincidences that I just wanted to bring up real quick before I take off. But you know, the Bible talks about in Luke chapter 21, verse 25, there shall be signs in the sun and the perplexity. And then it says the roaring of waves, right?
Yes. Well,
we had a solar eclipse on the 21st and Hurricane Harvey on the 25th.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you're right. It does say that, the roaring of the waves.
Oh, my God, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely correct.
And I got one more for you, right? Okay, so September 21st is going to be the Hebrew year 5778, right? Guess what the surface temperature of the sun is in Kelvin degrees?
Yes, 5778, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's
right. So you think the sun might be for a sign? I've already talked about in my other videos.
That's right. That's amazing.
Yeah, Jeff, when you get some time and you want to put together some more biblical information, and you could be on here with me and the doctor, because she studies a lot of that too, and you guys can definitely put this together.
Yeah, so I'll work on it, but I think that's pretty crazy.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Hey, thanks for inviting me on. Hopefully I'll have some more time. I'm always busy and I'm on call, so I had emergency, so I got to bail.
Okay.
Not a problem, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Jeff.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, and you know, Scott, I just wanted to bring it up. The waves roaring it's not just due to hurricanes, and I think the Earth is wobbling, and it's causing the sea to recede in some areas and to come in like a tidal waves in other areas. And I've reached, after seeing what happened, there were images from Tampa, Florida, where you could see
and also from the Bahamas.
Yeah, the sea receding. I believe that's actually due to the Earth wobble, and the Earth is wobbling because of these objects in the inner solar system, and the wobble seems to be getting worse. So the Bible, referring to the waves roaring, is also referring to these tidal surges that are happening. I think they actually use the hurricane to cover this up.
There's a big possibility. There's a huge possibility. There is entirely too much going on. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been warning everybody about this for, over a year. And, we're getting right down to it. We're making more and more discoveries. They're becoming more and more clear. There's just absolutely no doubt about it. Before I go on, I want to give a big shout out to Tyler Glockner over at Secure Team 10. He was involved in a motorcycle accident. He's going to be laid up for some time. And there's always that possibility that, uncovering information based on UFOs and extraterrestrials and putting information out there that the government doesn't want people to pay attention to could eventually and possibly get you killed. There was an attempt made on Pastor Paul Begley last year. There's been attempts made on me, threats made to the doctor, and many, many others have lost their lives. And our best wishes to Tyler. Get better soon, and I hope everything works out. But getting back to our program, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the most stunning photographs that I've captured, besides the big blue object that I captured back on May 10th and May 12th. Now, people ask, why are we seeing this only during the CMEs? Well, the CMEs are lighting these objects up. Yeah. They're lighting them up like a Christmas tree or a firecracker on the 4th of July.
Yes, because when they come to the sun, they can only emit infrared radiation, and these are visible light images, so we wouldn't be able to see them. They then absorb energy and plasma from the sun. It takes months, if not years, for them to rejuvenate enough to be able to emit visible light. So these are actually new arrivals that are not able to emit any visible light yet, but they still have their strong magnetic field and they're interacting with the sun. And you can clearly see from images like this as well that gravity is not the interaction here. The gravity is not interacting at all. If you have two massive objects, then gravity would cause them to be attracted to each other. We don't see these objects colliding. We see them actually moving apart. The sun and these objects move apart as the CMEs occur. And that shows you that gravity is not a real interaction. It's just a model for the orbits of the planets in the solar system. It's not real. And this is possibly one of the reasons why they're covering this up, because we can see from it that what happens in the universe has nothing to do with gravity.
Oh, I agree. This was an inverted photograph here, and just capturing the lines, the definition of this object. I mean, it's pretty undisputable.
Yes, indeed. It's absolutely amazing what you captured here, Scott. Absolutely. You're always catching these objects.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, something woke me up 3 a.m.
Yes.
And yeah, I got right to it. And let me go ahead and bring back.
Yeah.
I just came right to my computer, and I was in a quick hurry for some reason to get to the LASCO images and check and see if there were any more CMEs. And I wanted to, I mean, we knew about the big X-flare CME late yesterday, but we didn't have any footage of it, just a cutoff. And I wanted to quickly get to my computer because I knew something had to occur.
Yes.
And I'm going to be digging a lot deeper into this later on this afternoon, and we'll be publishing another video letting you know what we've captured. Yeah. But by far, this is just stunning.
And you know what? This is actually very worrying because the X9 flare the other day, we had an object that was like 3 times the size of the sun. And we had an X9 flare going on to X10. But now we are getting an X flare that is even stronger than that. And, well, we do have 3 objects there. That's possibly why. But the thing is, each time we get this, it seems to be getting stronger, Scott. And this is very worrying in a way that the sun, to me, and I've been saying this for a while, is getting more and more unstable. And I've described it akin to a star that's going into the red giant phase, where it starts letting go of its plasma. It's not able to hold on to it. And it holds on to it with its magnetic field, because that's how stars form. The Z-pinch effect, which is magnetic fields confining plasma. And the star continues to confine its plasma with its magnetic field. But when it gets weaker, it becomes unstable. It's not able to hold on to its plasma as well. And that's when it starts going into the red giant phase and expands outwards. And I see the sun getting more and more unstable. We saw it getting weaker, emitting less and less light for years. And then suddenly, and it got extremely weak in 2016. And then suddenly in 2017, it started getting sunspots and flares. And now it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And where is this leading to? This is very worrying, because this is very dangerous for our planet. It's just getting worse.
Well, there's no doubt it's definitely getting worse.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get right into this solar minimum. Doctor, we're getting a little bit of a feedback. Is your volume up on your computer?
I can turn it down.
It might have just been the stream. There you go. It's better now.
Okay. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's just, I have never seen an X-class flare, an X flare of this kind. I mean, we only go up to X-class, but I think this would go to a class above X. I know that's what they detected, but I think if it had been Earth-facing, it would have been way beyond this.
Oh, it would have been catastrophic. There's just no doubt about it. It's
just unbelievable what happened there. It just... And I believe it's going to get worse, Scott. And this is extremely worrying, basically, because if it keeps on getting stronger, and we definitely have these large stellar cores now close to the sun, and we haven't seen these before. We are seeing them now, and it seems to me that they've arrived recently at the sun. And so what we had was the smaller ones arriving first, possibly the larger ones that were part of this whole cloud of objects that the sun went past for some reason. And the smaller ones came in first, and the larger ones are coming in now. They're possibly a little slower to get here. But if there are more of them still arriving, and even with these that we have now, we are definitely in great danger on Earth. We'd only be able to survive this kind of thing underground.
Well,
and I don't see it decreasing.
Yeah, all I can say is, getting into this grand solar minimum and the sun going to sleep. Mm-hmm. Folks, there is the evidence of this 11-year cycle. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I'm possibly thinking that we may be skipping this 11th year.
Yes, I think
because
so.
The sun is entirely too active. Now, one of the main reasons why the sun would be reacting like this, and Doctor, you just spoke about it. You want to talk about it again? Why would the sun be reacting so violently?
Exactly, when it's supposed to be moving towards its solar minimum. And I'd like to say that most of what happens on the sun is not for no reason. I think even the 11-year cycle is due to a magnetic connection that the sun had either with the center of the galaxy or with other stars near it. It doesn't seem to come from anything that happens within it. There is no explanation for the 11-year cycle in anything that happens within the sun. The only possible explanation that I can come up with is that the sun was connected magnetically to another star or to the center of the galaxy, and the connection is always magnetic. But now with these objects arriving so close to the sun, and these are stars, these are old stars with strong magnetic fields, the sun's pattern 11-year cycle, it has gone because it's connected to these objects. We now have the nucleus of the solar system no longer has just one star in that nucleus. It has maybe thousands of them, and several of these huge big ones are in the nucleus of the solar system. We no longer have a single star connected to the galaxy. We now have several, and some stars that have cores that are much larger than the sun's core, and therefore have much higher, all of them probably have much higher magnetic fields than the sun. And they are affecting the sun, so that this 11-year cycle is just gone out of the window. It's just not there anymore. And the sun is just becoming a part of a group in the nucleus. So our solar system has changed completely. The planets are still connected to the sun, but yet the sun is connected to these other stars. So everything has changed in the solar system. These stars will eventually rejuvenate like a lot of the smaller ones have and start emitting light. And it seems that eventually they do move a little bit away from the sun. At least they don't stay as close to it in the corona. They stay in the corona in order to draw plasma from the sun, just like white dwarf stars draw plasma from main sequence stars. And it's nothing to do with the gravitational interaction. It's always a magnetic interaction. And this is what's happening in our solar system. And as long as these stars are not rejuvenated completely, they will continue to draw plasma from the sun. We will therefore continue to have these explosive interactions, these magnetic connections that lead to solar flares and huge CMEs. And let's hope there aren't any more of these objects arriving, because I don't think we can take much more of this, Scott. And we were very fortunate this was not Earth-facing. And I think that's just God protecting us on this planet. He doesn't want the human race to die. And we are told in the Bible that the earth will continue. So we have that. But it just goes to show that this is extremely dangerous. And this is a good time to thank God that He's still protecting us. So life on this planet doesn't end. And
I think eventually, you know, we're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And,
yes.
You know, that nice thought of yours is it's going to go out the door. I'm not trying to be a pessimist, mm-hmm. but, you know, whenever I was in college, I did a very lengthy report on the laws of probability.
Yes.
And I lived my life by it. I proved to myself,
yes,
first and foremost, anything can happen at any time. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the saying goes, being in the wrong place at the wrong time or the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Well,
the laws of probability and destiny.
Scott, the Bible does say that eventually the whole earth will be burnt and destroyed, but that seems to happen after the millennium. So it will happen eventually, but hopefully it won't happen right now. But anyway, it's still incredibly dangerous. We can still have huge disaster, even if not everybody on the surface dies. We can have these things happening. We have the earth wobble that's causing these tidal surges. They obviously don't want us to know about it. And a hurricane, if anything, may have been a distraction because, as I have written before, they are able to manufacture hurricanes and steer them. So this is basically what they are doing. And these tidal surges are taking about 12 hours. So they made sure that the hurricane would move slowly enough to be over Florida for about 12 hours. And I believe that that's what's happening. And these tidal surges are to do with magnetic field interactions as well, because these objects are causing the Earth to interact magnetically with them too. And this would cause the earth wobble, and we've known it's been there for a while because of the change in the temperatures and so on. And we saw what happened in Brazil and Uruguay a few weeks ago. So it possibly will get worse until eventually there will be a complete flip of the earth. So, you know, a pole shift.
Well, there's no doubt we're getting close to something. You know, ladies and gentlemen, as I have mentioned before, I lived in South Florida for 22 years. I lived across the street from the beach, and I lived on the 33rd floor of a building, a brand new building. And the hurricane codes are the best in the world in South Florida. But I started studying hurricanes and I started studying weather after I went through Hurricane Andrew. And Hurricane Andrew was a small Category 5 hurricane, but it did a massive amount of destruction to South Florida. What I've been seeing lately with these hurricanes, it's just not even right. The dynamics of these hurricanes are confusing even some of the best seasoned meteorologists and weather scientists around the world. I just did a story about it last week. Meteorologists basically saying that, wow, we're really confused about what's happening here. And once again, I mentioned back in the spring, I told all of you, wait till we get into late August, September, October, and possibly even all the way through November. We are going to see probably one of the most active hurricane seasons ever recorded. And the east coast of the United States, the Caribbean, and the Gulf of Mexico regions are going to be, once again, in grave danger. Mm-hmm. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. So, what I'm asking is, if you have anybody, any friends or family members that live in any of these areas, east of the Mississippi River, anybody in the Gulf of Mexico, anybody in these regions, share the video with them, explain to them what is happening, and they must be on guard. Mm. Folks, if you're not prepared, the worst is going to happen. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You must be prepared. Now, I'm still working on a video that I'm putting together based on what you should have with you as part of your preparation. As soon as I'm finished with it, we'll get it up there, we'll do a live stream, and I'll put it up as a permanent video for people to refer to, and it will also be on our new website. The website is planetxresearcher.com. You don't have to type in the www. It's just flat out http://planetxresearcher.com. Mm-hmm. Preparation is key number one.
Yes.
At this point in time, we have to be on guard for anything regarding weather, outer space, and the government. It's time to open your ears, open your eyes, open your mind, and we have to be on guard. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can feel the anxiety deep inside of me right now as I'm speaking to each and every one of you.
Yeah.
There is so much to cover, so much happening around the world right now as we speak.
Yeah. Yes, and unfortunately, most of the world's population lives near the ocean. And we are going to start getting more and more of these tidal surges, I think. And due to the magnetic interactions, and it makes living at the ocean, which, up to now has been so lovely because you get such a beautiful view of the sea, it's becoming now dangerous.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We're going to start seeing, we're already seeing prices of gasoline in the United States going up 30 to 40 cents a gallon already. The price of groceries, produce, meats, everything you buy in the grocery store, you're going to see transportation costs going up because of the fuel costs, and they'll pass them right down to you. So get ready to be paying more money at the fuel pump and the grocery store. Mark my words. It's happening right now behind the scenes, and you don't even know about it. Well, you do, but, the powers that be, they're back there in their boardrooms, and they're saying, let's stick it to them. Let's stick it to the man. Mm-hmm. And they will, and we have no way to stop it. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Absolutely the saddest part.
Yeah, the best thing we can do is pray, and we can seek our Creator who will be able to help us. I think that's still the best thing to do.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. we're going to go ahead and just check a few things here real quick while we have everybody on board with us. We're going to check the solar wind
and of course
model.
Yeah, I just wanted to say every time this happens, we are going to get earthquakes. And remember, I've just written an article showing that earthquakes are electrical in nature. So whenever our ionosphere is charged up, we get earthquakes. Earthquakes are actually lightning inside the earth. So we get a lightning bolt hitting somewhere inside the earth, and then we get the seismic waves, which are actually thunder, moving through the rocky material. And that's what earthquakes are. So earthquakes are electrical in nature, and that's why we would see lights around rocks, because that's where the electric field is strongest. And then it ionizes the air around mountain tops, pointed rocks on the surface. And that's why we get these lights around the time of earthquakes, before and during. And it was, for me, fascinating to find out that how the ionosphere connects to the center of the earth, creating these lightning bolts that give rise to earthquakes. That's actually what earthquakes are. And so that's why when we get these huge CMEs, when we get these huge X flares, it hits our ionosphere, and then right after that, we get earthquakes. They are connected.
Yeah, and as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, on the solar wind predictor model, they have updated it through the 16th of September. And what you're about to see is, I'll just go ahead over it with you. This little green circle right here is the Earth. This yellow circle is the sun. You're going to see the ejection, and you're going to see where Earth is going to be impacted and on what day. I'm going to go ahead and stop that real quick. I'm going to bring it all the way back to, this would be pretty close to the 9th. And I'm going to use the slider, and we're going to move up to the 10th. You can see we're already getting into it right there on the 10th. And then, well, about halfway through the day, we had the X flare. Now, the X flare has not been updated on this model. It has not been updated. Here's the 11th, where we're at today. We are supposed to be right in the middle of a very severe geomagnetic storm. They have issued the warnings for it already on NOAA. As you can see, between the 11th and the 12th, we're right in it. Going into the 13th, we'll be moving out of it. Now, folks, these are predictor models, okay? What they're doing, it's the same as the weather. They're using forecast and predictions, and all of the information is fed into this animated model. Yes. These animated models have been known to be off by hours, even a day, depending on space conditions with the sun. And I'll come right out and say it, with our planet X. And ladies and gentlemen, there's just not one object out there. There's a whole system, a whole family of these objects, still probably a lot of them unknown to us.
Yeah. And you know what I don't like about the current philosophy of minimizing all effects? So whenever we have earthquakes, they will look through the magnitudes and give a minimum. They euphemize everything. And it shouldn't be like that. In physics, you're supposed to maximize the effects to give an idea of what you have to do to prepare. So they are minimizing all effects and giving you a prediction of what it could be as a minimum, not a maximum. And that is absolutely wrong. That gives the people an idea that they are safe when they are not safe. They do the opposite when it suits them. For example, they gave you maximum predictions for the hurricane, and it may not have been as strong as they were saying, but they wanted to be on the safe side so that they were covered for people not realizing that it's tidal surges that are happening due to the earth wobble. But when it comes to space weather, they always minimize the effects. When it comes to earthquakes, they always minimize the effects. And that's, I believe, absolutely wrong. And you know, from doing physics, I know that the effects and the error bars should always be maximized, not minimized.
Okay, folks, real quick, you can see already on the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, they've just updated this a little while ago. You can see we are at an R3 level, very strong. S3, another very, very strong level. No G-class flares. Solar wind speed, rather low right now, 583 kilometers per second. That is probably fluctuating intensely. And I'm not even going to get into the solar wind magnetic field information here because it's pretty hard to understand. We're going to look real quick at the solar X-ray flux, and you can see, bingo, here we are. We're in X-class flare, R3. We're up there. Same thing with the proton flux. Mm-hmm. Right here, S3, right along the line. Now, the geomagnetic activity, none of it. Basically, normal conditions.
Yes,
reason being that wasn't directly Earth-facing.
What they don't measure is the cosmic radiation coming in, because that's what we have coming in at the moment. And these are extra fast-moving particles that go right through the magnetosphere. And they do not give us measurements for that. And that's the problem. They are actually more dangerous because they come right through the magnetosphere, and they will cause the particle showers, and we're going to get pions and muons and neutrons getting to the surface, which are extremely damaging, much more damaging than what occurs that affects radio transmission in the ionosphere. But they do not warn us about that, Scott.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. Now, with this chart, Doctor, do you want to explain to everyone what's happening with the X-rays and also the high latitude protons, what they're seeing? So, right here, the Africa, all of Europe, and the Middle East are just absolutely inundated.
Yeah, so this is our ionosphere being impacted, and what it does is the particles create noise to the point that radio transmission cannot be heard. So this is just showing our ionosphere being impacted. But from that, we can see that the particles are hitting our atmosphere. So it's a way of seeing what's coming in, and you can see that the maximum is there over Africa at the moment. So, but also at the poles, you can see that it's red. So the poles are filling up with these particles and this radiation from the solar flare. So this is definitely quite a strong effect. Well, they do say radio 3 strong. I'm surprised it's not even stronger than that, to tell you the truth.
That's still early.
Yeah.
It is still early. I'm going to go ahead and just see real quick if there's anything going on with our magnetopause and magnetosphere. See if anything's getting bent out of shape here.
Mm. You see, what's impacting the Earth right now is not putting that much of a pressure on our magnetosphere because it's coming straight in. It's the slower moving ionized particles with the high density that would impact it. And that may take a few hours depending on how fast they are moving. That CME was moving.
Well, there you go. This is going back to the 8th.
Okay. Oh, look, there is something happening there.
Yeah, we looked at this the other day. Here's the 9th.
Yes. Well, there was in the meantime a strong geomagnetic storm with very bright auroras. When was it? On the 8th, I think. Or the 9th, I'm not sure anymore.
Oh, I can see that data has already been removed.
Yes. Well, they would do that.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, this is the level that scientists have sunk to nowadays, Scott. It's shameful, to tell you the truth.
They did it. It's not even here.
It's shameful that scientists have no ethical beliefs anymore.
Hold on a minute. Oh my God. They have shut off all of the information as of 7:33 a.m. UTC time on September 9th.
Oh my goodness.
2 days ago.
Yes, well, it sounds like they were actually expecting this to happen. But do you know why they were expecting it? Because they are tracking these objects. They know exactly where they are. They know when they get to the sun. And obviously, these objects will connect to the sun where the magnetic field is strongest. So they will head to where there is a huge sunspot. So wherever you have a sunspot, you're going to get these objects congregating there because they connect magnetically to the sun. They will go where the magnetic field is strongest.
Well, absolutely. Don't mean to interrupt you, Doc, but absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, pay very close attention up here. The date. September 9th, 2017, same time stoppage, 7:33:17 a.m. UTC time. They have shut the information off. Here we are 48 hours later. This information updates consistently, no problem. We have had no new information for exactly 48 hours right now. They knew damn well this was about to happen.
Yeah.
Wow. They knew it.
Yes. So sad.
Take a quick look at stereo imaging, and we'll close this live stream down. We'll let everybody see what's happening. Give me 1 second. See if they took any of this down. Let me just shrink that down one notch. Here's going into the 9th. What you see over there is Mercury pounded. So we could still see a lot of venting coming from the lower part of that sunspot.
That's right. Oh, there's the CME. It doesn't look
that was the X flare right there.
Yeah. Yeah, there were several CMEs.
Oh yeah.
On the 9th and 10th.
Boy, look how just venting down here. Look at that.
It was almost continuous because that's to be expected because you have a particle flux transfer between the sun and these objects. Don't forget they're absorbing the sun's plasma through the magnetic connection. So this is exactly what you would expect, and almost actually a continuous particle flux transfer. And then eventually the sun cannot hold on anymore. And then there's this huge transfer. And those are the CMEs and the solar flares that we see. Because they're pulling on the sun's magnetic field. And as they pull, eventually you get a reconnection happening and a huge explosion coming out. And I've explained this so many times I have a little diagram that explains this.
That was just absolutely incredible.
Wow, look at that.
Massive CME and X flare, just massive.
Yeah. That's right. Amazing.
Let's just see if they have hidden anything else.
Yeah, there's venting going on there.
Oh, now they cut that footage out.
Yeah, well, they cut everything out that they can. You know, they might as well be saying to us, look, we know it's there, and, you know, we just don't want you to see it.
No
That's
files
the message.
found. Look at this. No files found. Oh.
Yeah. You can see here how the corona is so out of focus. I think they're doing that on purpose so we don't see the objects that are there.
Well, I mean, I have noticed that whenever the sun is going through this process,
yes,
I don't know if it's all of the energy coming that's affecting the camera, but I mean, I'm seeing these objects zipping all over the place.
Yeah, they are. There are large numbers of these objects. We do see a few now and then. There are large numbers of these objects in the sun's corona. And you know, it's obvious. The evidence is overwhelming. And the fact that no one else wants to touch this besides us baffles me, Scott, because the evidence is so overwhelming. And now when the sun is supposed to be going towards a solar minimum, it becomes extremely active and no one says anything about it. It's unbelievable, Scott. Or is everybody too afraid of the truth?
I think so. I think so. Now here, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as this loads, it will start playing a little bit smoother. This is coming directly right now, as you're seeing it from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. And this was once again the X-class flare, that massive one that would have ended Earth. If we would have been Earth facing, we'd all be goners. I mean, you can see the way that it affects the camera on the SDO. Clearly incredible. Just absolutely incredible. Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting times that we are living in right now. But ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to share all of this information with you. Again, this was a discovery I made about 3 o'clock this morning, and I've been working on it ever since. And there's just absolutely no doubt about it. Planet X exists. More than one of these objects. They're out there. They're interfering with the sun. I'll just put it to you this way. It's like the sun is in the fight for its life. It's being attacked by every angle. We're going to be digging deeper and deeper into this afternoon. The doctor and I, we may be back at some point early evening with another live stream. And there's just so much happening right now with trying to watch and see what's happening with these weather systems and also what's happening out there around our sun. But we are definitely going to keep up. I would ask that each one of you make sure that you are subscribed to the Planet X News channel and also the Nibiru Planet X News channel, my main channel. And folks, check out our new website. It is absolutely incredible. I'll be uploading all of these photographs that you've seen here today. I'll be uploading all of them. You can go and you can view all of them in your own time, in your own privacy, and you could watch all of our videos. It's a great interactive website. You could even contact us directly through it. There is a list of all of the doctor's reports on there. If any of you are interested in purchasing the reports, just pick out the number and email me, and you can go directly through the Planet X News PayPal link. We have a lot of people right now that are daily purchasing the doctor's reports. They're utilizing them on their own YouTube channels, and they're actually giving daily reports on her findings and what she's researching. It's a great opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are we are treading on some very, very thin ice around the world. It may not seem like it in your day-to-day life, but when you see what I see every single day and what you research, and the doctor helps tremendously in the scientific interpretation of all of this, it does make you shake in your bones sometimes. No doubt about it. Doctor, any last words for everybody?
Well, as usual, Scott, I'd like to say that what we are doing is bringing people the truth, because God wants people to know the truth, that he created these objects for this time, for a reason. He wants people to seek him and get to know him. So this is a good thing to do right now. We are going to need him. We are obviously in very dangerous times, and our planet is under attack from multiple enemies. So, and we as human beings are under attack from our enemies. We need our Creator, and we should get to know him and learn to pray, speak with him, because we're going to need him. And that is just my message. I'd like people to get ready, because things are not going to get better.
Beautiful words, Doctor. And let me just add that, yes, you better get in touch with your Creator. And if you are not prepared for what is happening to this planet, you're going to meet your Creator. You're going to meet your Creator sooner than you think. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you keep yourself updated on what's happening, and also the major discoveries coming from Planet X News. The doctor and I, we're always at work trying to find the evidence. And I think over the course of the last year, I have proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And since the doctor has come on board with her scientific background and her professionalism, she has definitely helped 100% to understand scientifically what is happening. And she has given very good answers to what we're seeking. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us this morning. I'd like to thank our moderators in the chat. And once again, I'd like to, a very big special thanks out there to Annoyed Aussie, one of our great viewers, Planet X researcher. Once again, thank you very, very much. I'd like to thank Jeff P. for jumping on with us real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you stay tuned, because we're going to be coming up with even more discoveries. I'm also going to be showing more of these photographs as I go through all of the data. I'll be posting them in a video and on the Planet X Researcher website. This is Scott from Planet X News and our rogue physicist, Dr. Albers. Thank you very much. Have a good morning.